Hey, we are live. How's everybody doing? We got a great show for you tonight. So, last night, Tampa made history, y'all. Um, it was pretty exciting. But from a field of 14 candidates last, I think it was September,
Exciting.
new,
From a field of 14 candidates.
hmm, okay, I'm pausing because I probably have I'm going to pause a little bit, you guys, because I need to clean up why I am hearing the echo.
No, that was on my part.
Is
I
it?
forgot, yeah, I forgot to turn my volume down. You
All
good?
right. Y'all, we are, we're, we're getting this done. Thank you. Okay. So, from a field of 14 candidates, I believe it was last September, newcomer Naya Young prevailed in the runoff as the last person standing, defeating veteran Bishop Thomas Scott. Grassroots energy overcame establishment power. But what did the numbers really say? Was this a one time upset or the start of a generational power shift? Tonight, we're joined by Robin Lockett, and together we're breaking down who voted, why it mattered, and what this means for the next citywide election. So stay tuned. I'll see you right after the countdown and the intro. We are Black Independence. And let's get into that countdown. Assets.
To the Black Independent, where we speak truth to power, unapologetically.
For too long, the black vote has been treated like a given, but we're not property. We're not pawns. We are the descendants of those who built this nation. And now, we're demanding tangibles, not tokenism, because the era of blind loyalty is over. This is the Black Independent. Let's get to work.
Good evening, family. I'm Mona.
And I'm Jeanette, and together we are Black Independence.
So tonight we're going to dive into what just happened in Tampa, District 5 City Council runoff. Newcomer Naya Young prevailed over veteran Bishop Thomas Scott, marking a major shift in local politics.
So, in the runoff, given the two choices, I actually thought experience made the most sense for the next 15 months. But this wasn't just a race, it was a referendum on what kind of leadership the people of District 5 really want. Are we witnessing a generational shift from seasoned veterans who know the landscape to a newcomer bringing fresh ideas and new possibilities to address what I think she termed long-standing blight? So the message was clear, folks. Voters want change. They want accountability, and they want a contemporary voice.
Yeah. And to help us dig into that message, we're going to be joined by Robin Lockett, Region Director of Florida Rising, an organization empowering communities through civil engagement, leadership, development, and advocacy for racial, gender, and economic justice. Robin, welcome to We Are Black Independent.
We got to bring her up.
Need to bring her up. Sorry about that.
Hey, Robin, I just have to laugh.
Robin,
Because-
welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know you're tired.
You got to be tired.
You're on mute.
That's unmuted.
I welcome the invitation.
Yes, I'm sure you do. Job well done, honey.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
It was a community. So Florida Rising did its thing,
Yes.
but it was a community effort because along with Florida Rising and what we did, it was how it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Right? Because no one worked for none of these groups worked for Naya's campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And other groups did what they were outlined to do and it worked together, and we prevailed, and that's what made it a grassroots effort.
Wow. So I really, really appreciate that. And I watched it from afar, being a fellow Florida Rising member and a member of the board. I did not participate because I was rooting for the other candidate, but I could see clearly you had boots on the ground. The boots were on the ground, and it was quite impressive. And I remember thinking, it's like, that's a dangerous weapon she's got there.
Yes.
Y'all were a dangerous weapon.
You can't. The other things are just an addition to a campaign. So if you're going to have money to send out flyers, that's an addition. If you are making appearances, that's an addition. But going door to door, having conversations, listening. My organizers are trained organizers, so they know to go out and they listen to what the concerns are, because you have to have patience with this.
Yeah.
And then they incorporate what Naya's stance is to say, hey, this is what she believes, and this is, so it fit like a glove. That's why they chose her as their as to who they were going to endorse. And
Yes.
I mean, you know that, Janae, you know what?
Okay, Ms. Patterson's trying to give her input, and I'm like,
Hey, Ms. Patterson.
yeah.
As a do she want to make an appearance?
And no, she does not.
Yes, she does.
All right, but before we break down the specific race, sorry, y'all, let's give our audience some context. So District 5 has always been politically significant, stretching from East Tampa and Sulphur Springs to West Tampa and Ybor, and now it encompasses Channelside and maybe maybe a thing or two that I'm missing. It has really, really grown. It's seen some of Tampa's most influential Black leaders over the years, but not much growth in those areas that I actually mentioned. So I just want to make sure that we're looking at it from a context of larger district, but certain areas have not really seen the growth despite the leaders.
Right. Robin, when you look at the history of this district, from past council members to redevelopment debates, you're at city council every week. What has District 5 represented political and socially? And when I say that, we could break it down. We could say the whole District 5, because politically we see what some of different neighborhoods inside of District 5. So I'm going to break it down, say like East Tampa and Sulphur Springs.
So I'm sorry, just so I can, so what do they see politically? What impact has it made politically?
Yes. Over, let's just say the last 5 how long have you been involved in politics? I started in 81 when I my first vote. And I wasn't really involved, but I voted. I voted in every election.
So I'm an avid voter. I'm like yourself. I voted in every election. I've been in politics for years. I was the president of the Black Caucus.
Yes.
Prior to
That's
that, political chair of the NAACP. So I've been involved.
Right.
I think with those two areas, if you're asking what impact politics have or have not made for that area,
Hmm. Yes.
So to answer that question, you have to understand how council works, right? Money is approved for those areas. And we had some of the best, per se, people identify them as some of the best voiceful people on council.
Sure.
And I mean, I guess generally it still looks the same. People talk about the lack of affordable housing. Housings have been built. And what I've seen since I've been going down it for maybe like the last 4 years, consistently, and really understanding the mechanism of that of council and how administration works.
Yes.
A lot of stuff gets passed for District 5, but it's been slow rolled through the administration.
Wow.
So it's been the passing of it. The money has gone, but then when it's time for the administration to make it happen, it's
when
been
you
slow
say
rolled.
administration, who are you talking about? The mayor?
Well, she's the administration. The mayor, the administration, mayor, the departments. She dictates what or approve what works and what doesn't. So it goes through the process. And what I feel council hadn't done in the past, and they're now doing now, is they approve it and it's gone.
Right.
And they don't know that it hasn't happened until somebody comes and complains about it and say, hey, we approved this 6 months ago. Or when the chief goes and tries to use the money for the quote unquote Station 24, and she outlines, hey, I'm going to use this money, and the money's no longer there. So, council I've seen council attempt to try to do a better job at bringing things back up or putting timelines in their mind or on a diary sheet. I still say diary, tagging it, that they're going to come back to it and follow up on it.
So, yeah, and I follow council. I really don't go anymore on Thursdays, but I'm always watching it. Yes. And I've heard that come up. And I find that hard to believe, particularly when these people live in the district. Do they not see that these things have not happened? Do they not see that the district still looks the same from the time they came in, or even from the time they wasn't in, and they campaign on the change? And I'm not only talking about whoever sits in District 5, because I'm also going to start holding the 3 at large somewhat responsible as well.
Well, I guess the question then is to add to what you're asking. Robin, have you seen community expectations evolve along with the political landscape? Has the community, do we engage at the levels that we should? So has the community expectations of the council and even of the administration, has that evolved well enough that we don't get left behind? Because that seems to be the argument. We consistently get left behind, but that could be because we're not as engaged. What's your thought on that?
No.
Yeah.
We don't.
We don't engage.
We don't engage. We don't engage enough.
So because we don't engage, are you saying it is not the people we elect to do the job that we elect them to do? We have to be engaged.
A squeaky wheel, a squeaky wheel gets the oil, unfortunately. You would hope that in great times that an elected official, they campaign on things, they have the pulse of the community, they they understand what the community needs. That's what they're saying, right? But there are times when you have things that are coming up, South Tampa, and not even using South Tampa as a negative, but you're just using them because when it's time for them to come down, They come down in droves.
They do, but okay.
They come down in droves.
Let's look at New Tampa. You still live in New Tampa. I live in West Chapel. Do we ever see these people in the bigger picture come down and request anything? But the guy who represents East Tampa knows that what the community wants. Also, that guy should know what Sulphur Springs wants. But I hear him all the time speaking on what New Tampa needs and wants.
Who? Oh, you talking about Lewis?
Yes, and he represents this New Tampa area. Yeah.
So Lewis does. Their biggest thing from my knowledge, their biggest things have been what he's been fighting in regards to out here is for fire stations and I think a park.
Years, parks redone, roads, paved, you know, and I was like, Jesus, it's fairly new out here, and we need all of that stuff, you know, east of here, west of here. But that's not really what we're here for tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm just so you're just making an observation, or you?
Yeah, I was just making an observation.
Oh, okay.
I just came to it from what you said about, because I hear people say this all the time, that East Tampa don't come down to city council. I think we have enough people down at city council, and when you guys call, I know when you call and say you needed the community to come down for housing, I can remember that. You got all of us there, right? But the people who are there, they're there every week fighting for East Tampa. It's about, what, 3 or 4 of you guys, 5 tops, that we know that we can count on that's there, who's reading the agenda. And most of these people either don't work or that's their job.
So what do you...
It is difficult when they say that the community don't come down and push.
Well, okay, so let me just say this. So I think that if there should be people that when they call, because it takes me a lot of work to round everybody up, right? And it's not.
It takes you a lot of work to do that. Look like we get an email and you say, "I need y'all here." This because I can remember.
Listen, I appreciate the ones that just come and come, but yeah, it's. But what I want to say is, it would, in a perfect world, you would want your council member to say, "Hey," and have the threat of, all I have to do is say, give a call, and everybody comes because they know the signal.
Yes.
Right? That's in a perfect world.
Yeah.
And even if they don't come, they're on the phone, they're shutting the lines down. Or even if they're not shutting the lines down, they're sending emails. They flood the waves.
Yeah.
But that takes organization, right? To be on point and have those people just automatically do it.
Yeah.
You have people fighting for different things in a different voice around East Tampa. There's different things that people coming down there and fighting for.
And that's good. We know that you really focus on housing, and we know that I'm going to say an expert in that arena. And so when you say this is what we need, you've already done all the research. You've already done. So if you need bodies there, people are there. If somebody else working like Connie Burton, whatever it is that she works on, when she say we need bodies there, then we as a community has to show up, since you guys are doing the heavy lifting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because y'all there every week. We're not going to be there every week.
Okay. But as I think Robin suggested, even if you're not there every week, there are other avenues where we can show that there is engagement, and that's through the letter writing, or not letter writing, emailing, and phone calls and that type of thing. So Robin, let's
we're gonna have to get to that point too, because We do have a new city councilwoman, and we want her to be successful. She's gonna need the support of the community, and Rob and them are the ears and the eyes. And when they send out the signal, this is what we need to do. The community is going to have to get behind and do
Right.
it.
But let's talk about grassroots over establishment, because I want to really kind of talk about what happened, and why one candidate resonated over the other. So, Robin, how did grassroots organizing manage to overcome the establishment's advantage in this race? Because clearly in the election, there seemed to be an establishment advantage. And I won't get into the detail of what that might have been or looked like, but the votes were between the two candidates that prevailed in that race just light years apart. So you kind of thought there's a presumptive winner here, even for the runoff, but that didn't happen. So how did the grassroots organizing win out over the establishment?
Like I said, I think I think grassroots, it was just so many different variables to that.
Okay.
You had organizational grassroots, you had individual grassroots, you had somebody in an apartment complex that canvassed their apartment complex because they believed, and they spoke with Naya, and they believed in bringing somebody new. I think that the people in East Tampa, seeing things as you guys identify all the time, seeing the condition and seeing the way East Tampa is, they weren't willing to give the establishment a second go at it or a third go at it, because the establishment had been city council member, county commission, and during that time, the community still looks pretty much the same. The new people that were here, they didn't know anybody from Jack. So again, they were willing to give the new person a voice and to see what she can bring forth. But I think it was just so organic. When this race had 14 people in it,
right?
I kept telling people I knew it was going to be Naya in it, but I didn't know whether it was going to be what other two candidates. I thought maybe Fran. I thought I never thought Scott, but I thought Scott, right? So it was two of them. I really thought it was going to be Naya and Fran, just based on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The ground never, the community never lies. I'm not talking about lying on Facebook and all this other nonsense that happens. When you're knocking at doors and you're getting a true polling, that is the truth.
Yes.
So if you guys remember, Jeanette, we talked, I said, Naya's going to make it to the runoff, right? Nobody, no, all the other variables, but I knew she was going to be one person. Yeah. The second go around, I had to pinch myself, because I was like, God, is this really, 99%, and I'm not exaggerating. When my people go out and canvass, they may run into one Scott supporter, but 99% of the people, and this is from all communities, and ain't just white, and people can put a spin on these things saying, oh, the white community brought her in. No. Look at the numbers.
And that has been said. It was similar to, I would say, the county commission race, that this might have been the white people's candidate.
No, no. Again, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie.
And we're going to look at those numbers because I need for Naya to be seen as, and I don't want to use this word, but it's the only one I have, legitimately in that seat to serve her constituents. And Black folks need to have a voice, and we typically don't have a voice with a lot of our Black candidates because we aren't the ones that necessarily put them in. So we're going to try to look at those numbers tonight to see what it looks like. But I will say, I trust what you're saying because I know Florida Rising's boots on the ground effort. and
all we spoke to were the majority were Black and Hispanics.
okay.
So don't get it. We knocked over 3,000 doors, made over 10,000 phone calls. So don't get it twisted. We had conversations with Black folks, and anybody white supporting Naya is just icing on the cake.
So that's why you're here tonight.
I mean,
So
they're in the community. We know they are, but we know what Florida Rising. I've worked with Florida Rising as well, campaigning. So we know how. That's why I said when I called you, you was tired. I said, yeah, you're gonna need a week, sister, because when I get that thing, just like, oh my God, every day you guys are out. You do have that down pat. And here's the thing. What I kept saying in our campaign, we had two things against us: no money and nobody behind you. Because
and
you're
talking about in the election, not the runoff.
right.
Okay.
Yes, because you have to have money is good, but I learned that through Robin. You have to have people on the ground. You got to go talk to the people. You got to knock on the doors. You got to do the phone calls. And now they got these AI calls, and I don't know how well that resonate versus getting someone on the phone or talking to the people. So yeah, in the beginning, Scott had all the unions, all of those people, and I was like, oh my God. And then when she got the backing from Florida Rising, you pretty much knew it was going to be over.
But so we deal with a lot of once upon a time. Once upon a time, churches, the pastors were able to say, go vote for this person. And once upon a time, the congregation followed. Once upon a time, unions said, hey, this is our person. And once upon a time, their union members followed. That's no more.
That's
so
true.
when that shifted and everybody started having their own mind and their own concerns and their own worries, now you have to shift into something different. So it's great to have, as we see, it's great to have the big endorsements.
Sure.
It's great to have all of those things, right? When I ran, I didn't have any endorsements because I got in the race, y'all know, less than 90 days before the election.
Right. Right.
But if I had more time, I truly believe the outcome would have been different.
All right. So
do you think those shifts will follow us into the next election? Because generally, when we see that the police union, the fire union, or all these unions, when they get behind a candidate, they really get behind a candidate. Because I saw that with my own eyes. They send their people out at the polls. Those people are out canvassing for them, and that union, for the most part, will follow that candidate. Now,
I used to see that. I saw that years ago. I don't see that now.
You don't say it anymore. I would say I saw it in the last, not this one, but the last race, because when I'm at generally sometimes when I'm doing the early voting, I'm going to do it at the new Tampa library on my days off because it's right up the street. And so I will see all these union people there supporting who their candidate support, but I don't see them in the inner city per se.
Oh, okay.
So, Robin, are you saying local churches are not as influential as they have been in the past, and you're not seeing them like boots on the ground, really, like it used to be?
I think people have their own idea in mind now. I think some churches do still have that connection, and they're Pastor Jones, God bless his soul. I know his members follow him.
Right, but what about whatever happened to souls to the polls? That used to be a major.
I can't answer for because I don't do it. But so I don't know. I don't know what
that's where you saw churches really taking an active role in getting church members to those polls on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm saying these kinds of actions seem to be disappearing, or even neighborhood associations. How are they rallying around? Something's missing that causes our numbers to be as low as they are.
But
Yeah.
Robin, didn't we used to do something? You used to do something for Saturdays.
Park to the polls. Park to the polls. I continued that from when I was actually when Diane was Black Caucus president. We had I held a big event on Saturdays,
Right.
and I picked it back up. Yeah, park to the polls.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, this was
We're
a
very,
special.
and let me just say that because okay, so a lot of these things take a lot of work.
Sure.
Right.
So that's the key to it, right? To reach people. I can just give you what I do with Parks to the Polls, or what we do with Parks to the Polls.
Mm-hmm.
We're canvassing, we're knocking on doors to register voters, inviting them to that event.
Mm-hmm.
And each year it has grown.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're very intentional on doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that might have not have been, you know, feasible for a special election when you have
correct.
multiple. Yes. It is quite successful. So have you got a chance to look at the numbers
Oh no.
from last? And it wasn't that much of a difference. I'm going to pull this up. And there we go, pull it up. So this
are you
is from
able to show us where the numbers came from? Is that what we're looking at?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is from September, when all 13, 14 people in, and then we had a write-in. But when I looked at the numbers, it just appears, you know, it was a low turnout. Let's see, we had 5,400.
5414. Please do not disgrace that number.
Okay. I generally round up, but yeah, we had 5,414, 12%, 0.1% of the people. So now let me ask you, because they say it's 45,079 registered voters in District 5. Now, we left almost 40,000 unregistered voters. Where are these people? Why don't they feel the need to vote?
Well, that's a magic question. Why are you dealing with the first runoff and not the final?
She's going to get to the final.
Oh,
I'm going to do the final.
I'm jumping. I don't know. That's the magic question.
Yeah, I was just saying that, you know, it is, you know, even the first round out, because if I thought, you know, some people generally like to say, I hear some people saying, we'll wait till the final round, and because they don't care one way or the other, but they want to vote. But these numbers, you know, these turnouts were very, very low. And also in the other one as well.
Well, for a special election, and I said this, that's why I'm saying don't disrespect that number, because it was a beginning. For a special election, the first election, the primary, got more than the whole city did in 23.
Right.
So that's the special election for one area. Is it low? You can say it's low, but guess what? That's a great beginning. The second, the general was what, 5,000 or something?
Mm-hmm.
Still 5,000. But for a special election, 5,000 and some odd people were engaged. Mm-hmm. And for the people that had just ideas, conversation, if everybody worked as hard, if they're not, in regards to getting people out to vote, and I'm quite sure people did it in whatever way, in whatever fashion they could, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. If we had the answer to that question, where are the other 40,000? We'll be millionaires because everybody would be voting. So I don't know what the engagement needs to be. I don't know. I don't know.
So is it a matter of voter education? And if so, what does that look like? I remember Tom Scott talking about some type of civic program that teaches people more about voting and how the council works and so on and so forth. So do you think it's an issue of voter education, and is that a solution?
I think it's that and other things. I think it's not a one fix all. I think it's a multitude of different things. It could be voter education. When individuals come into the community and register people to vote, and then just leave them, and there's no mechanism to pick those individuals up to say, hey, this is how you vote. This is, to have that conversation. That's one thing, because they're coming into the community just to get a number. I think that voter education is important. I think that quality candidates, right? Because we see the same candidates run. People are used to them. So I think it's a multitude of different things. People don't even understand how city council and county commission and all the local races really impact their lives, because the push is, and it's a system. It is a system. Mm-hmm. The system is for people not to be engaged locally.
Sure. And right? they like a low turnout. Most of these candidates, they say
it's a numbers game.
You're saying it's a system, meaning that's intentional.
100%.
Very intentional. Yes.
So when I ran, I recognized, and we had this conversation, that me going to a door and I'm a candidate shouldn't be the first time somebody hears that there's a race.
Right.
Right.
True.
So, but Robin, let me stop you there, because this is what, and I get frustrated when I meet someone, or, someone even come to the shop, because I have signs on my fence. You coming into East Tampa, you see the freaking signs. I mean, like, in this day and age, I find it hard to believe, and I'm not one who like to babysit grown people. And I'm talking about anybody 35 or above, maybe 30 above. How you don't know? It's on Facebook everywhere. I don't care where you at on Facebook. My daughter isn't on Facebook, but she's TikTok and something else, one of those other things. And she saw the candidates that resonated with her. Two young, Naya and Elvis, actually. And she was like, oh, I like these two, because she saw them, but she knew the election was going on. I don't like people when they say, I don't know. Now, maybe if you a senior, I mean a real senior, like 80, and I don't know if
she's a real senior.
Because I'm a senior, okay? But I'm saying, if you're doing nothing but looking at TV, maybe they're not doing commercials. But even these seniors, particularly blacks, you got the Florida senator, you go to somebody's church. It's just
churches aren't talking about it. A lot of churches are not.
I know, and
that is correct.
It is a problem, because Tuesday, my customer, I did Tuesday night. I said, oh, what did your pastor say about the election? And she's like, now she lives in Carrollwood. So she says, oh, they didn't mention anything. And I was like, oh my God, because it is somebody in that church who live in District 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. These we're all dropping the ball.
Yeah, it's a multitude of different things.
Yes.
That one is not going to fix everything, because it is not a one size fits all situation.
Right.
So
I don't think it is, but with the go ahead, Mona. I'm sorry.
Real quick. So like Florida Rising, the Black Caucus, the NAACP, the Urban League, who else? TOBA. They don't do any of this education you're talking about. I'm asking.
We do it to a certain degree, just like the time when you guys, when I call the elected officials in,
Yeah.
I invite people from the community, I invite members, because everything that we do, I want our membership, and I open it up to the community to say, hey, I invite elected officials in so they can tell them what their job duties are, what is that seat like, and so forth. And also affords them an opportunity, the community and members an opportunity to ask questions.
Yeah. And one
So
thing I like
I
about
do that.
yours, it's always on Zoom, because sometimes it's at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
Correct.
People are still at work, but we're able to tune in on Zoom. So I
Correct.
do like that.
Yeah.
Robin, how do you feel about the fact that turnout is typically so low, 5,000? Let me get that right, 414 compared to the 45,000.
I just want to say 5,500.
Yeah, Robin's not going to beat up on me like I just saw her.
Don't forget my 14 other people.
Hey,
I know.
I want every bit of it. I want every bit of it.
But how do you feel about the fact that there's only that small number, and excuse me, calling it small, compared to the larger number, 45,000, making a decision or a choice that's going to impact the entire community? Shouldn't the community be a bit alarmed about that? The fact that only a few is choosing a person who's going to impact their day-to-day lives?
So let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about, and this is the irony in it, but how do you feel about that same number deciding who is who for the whole entire city of Tampa?
Yeah,
so
it's
5,000 people coming out for that one district was a great number. It wasn't the best, but it was better than the whole city of Tampa. And the average is that percentage is always low.
okay. Yeah. Whether it was the best or not, both is shameful. I feel like both of them has to be better.
So I think candidates is a big deal. I think education is a big deal. I think because the supervisor of election can't do anymore. We get vote by mail, we get mail-in ballots. We're able to do early voting, so all of those things are ready for us, right? And these stigmas around vote by mail ballots has to be educational for people to trust the process and trust the system.
Yeah.
Early voting. This supervisor of elections, he could be like St. Pete and give us 1 day, and then when they start taking things away, that's when we'll start fussing. But we're not utilizing the 14 days that they provide, or the week ahead of time that they do provide. So it could be a whole lot worse like St. Pete, right? But we have to be, and it's just, to be honest, consistent and continued conversation, right? People may feel good about this win if they supported Naya, right? And it may lead into something else. People will see that young lady on the dais. It'll attract other younger people to be engaged.
I agree
right?
with that.
So again, just keeping it going may make people want to be involved.
Keeping it going and her doing results that actually show some visible changes in the areas that were previously forgotten, and that being publicized and talked about, I think will begin, people will begin realizing we can make a difference. We can impact who sits in that seat. And I think her story just needs to be played over and over and over if in fact it's going to attract more. It can't be just this one-time thing and then all of a sudden it disappears. And I think that's out in the forefront.
I think that's very important. I think that's something that has not happened in the past in regards to how do you get information? Because again, money is in East Tampa, but and it's there, but people have to know that it's there to even get it, right? But how do you get the wins out that East Tampa does have, or how do you get the information out of a new development or something or some type of economic machine that's coming? How do you get that out to the community, right? And I think that's a piece that's missing because people come down there and they say, hey, we don't know what's going on. This is not happening, and it is happening. It is there, but it's not reaching the masses of East Tampa or
Yeah.
District 5.
Yeah.
So
I would say East Tampa because District 5.
What's the
yeah,
challenge?
because it's not hitting Cephalus Springs. It's hitting certain people. I guess you have to be in the know. But look, you just have to be involved because they're supposed to get that information out to our neighborhood association, and the neighborhood association should then, like you said, Fran Tate, she had a good ground game as well. She's been doing it, so she keeps her community. Look, like I just saw a lizard, and I just keep looking up. Shucks, take it, Jeanette. Let me figure this out.
I was going to say it's a lizard. It's not a snake. It's a lizard.
She went off.
But I'm really interested in this younger generation. And what do you think? What are you hearing in terms of their expectations of leadership? Obviously, they don't want. I think what the other candidate, in this case, Bishop Scott, was offering. What are they looking for? And is this a trend? I'm asking you, is this a trend that we're seeing here is this a trend in Tampa? And do you think this could become a national trend where it's time to start passing the baton? Are the young people telling us something?
So if only young people voted for Naya, then I would say that. But it was a multitude of people. I mean, so I think that there's a need or an urge for something different.
Okay.
Whether it's young, old, or middle age.
It has nothing to do with age. It has to do with
something different, right? If you've been there, done that, and you bought the T-shirt, then they're not going to let you try on the T-shirt again.
So I was hearing from older people who they too said they wanted to give the younger generation an opportunity. So yeah, but hey, I want new too. I just do. But I did support Scott because I thought that he would be ready day one. That was our whole slogan in the
Robin, that is not a question. Do not comment on that day one. Do not comment on the day one.
No, I realize. Look, things happen for a reason. This is what I believe. Look, I believe this is what needs to have happened.
I meant to tell you, do not say ready day one. Do not say that.
Nobody's going to get there and be ready day one.
We have a whole conversation. Well, I think
some people are more ready than others.
No. Because nobody has sat in that seat again.
Doesn't matter. We're going to agree to disagree on that.
Yeah,
totally.
We're going to agree to disagree on that one. So,
totally
but I remember telling Naya that nobody could tell her what to do. She will figure it out. Yep. Now that I do believe, she will figure it out.
She will figure it out. But she also said, "Go ahead."
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You go. You're the person we're asking the question. So go ahead.
Yeah, she's a smart young lady, and if you notice anything about her, she's very intuitive. She's going to ask questions, and she's a
quick learner. She's a quick learner.
I love the fact that she is still a student.
Yes.
Meaning that she's receptive.
Yes.
She's going to do her own research, and then she's going to come out with a decision.
Yeah.
And that is all that we can. That to be honest, that's what we need. Somebody that's going to read, understand, and come up with a decision.
It's what the people voted for, knowing that she is, as you say, still a student.
No, not still a student. I'm not saying she's still a student.
Well,
she is a what I'm saying is that when I say student, she's very receptive to.
Yeah, I don't,
that.
and I understood that. So if I said it in a way that you heard it and decided I need to
Nothing
get
offensive.
on that.
Yes.
She's
Good,
receptive
good.
to.
She is like, I'm
she's
still a
open.
student. Everybody knows I'm a
We're all
66
still
year old
students.
college graduate at this point.
Well, we are
Right.
students. As long as we live, we should be learning.
That's the point that I
100%
think you're
facts.
making, that she
Okay.
is open to new information and is not afraid to accept incoming. In
Correct.
fact, in her speech, victory speech, I listened to it the other night or last night. It's all coming
Last
together.
night was the election.
Yeah, the other night or last night. It's like, okay. I listened and she was thanking the people in the building. And what she said to me was exactly what she said the entire time. And what I imagine she's going to continue doing. She was receptive to feedback. So if she said something in a forum and somebody walked up to her and counseled her to say, here's a better answer for that, she was open to listening and then going back to do her research and then making sure her answer was better. In fact, I remember Ishalina said in one of her posts that she went to that Sulphur Springs forum, and she said she was more comfortable in her skin and her answers were better. And that is a testament to the people that surrounded her, yes, but also to her, that she was learning and growing the entire time. Now, I approached her from the beginning, and I said, okay, here's my observation. She didn't like it too much, but I gave her my observation. And then everybody got to watch her grow, and in such a way that they were open to voting for her at pretty large numbers, 61% compared to 39. It was
69%. It was very, very impressive. 69%.
Well, 61 plus 39 gives you 100. So I'm just doing the math in my head.
But let me just say something. When I commend anybody that gets on that front line and say that they want to serve, right? Because and especially in that short period of time, because even when as much as I am out in the public, there's nothing like being in front of a crowd of people that you have no clue to who they are, and you guys were with me 100%. Saw me stumble, come back and say, "Oh, nope, I didn't mean to say that." But you're learning. But as I went through that process, I tend to think the better I got, the more confident, and I'm a pretty confident woman.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, because we were with you every step of the way, and yes, that happened.
Yeah, and you grow into it, right? You become more familiar. So nobody's going to get up and understand and know everything, right? But as you go and you're listening to questions and you're creating your answers or getting your answers together, this thing was different, because I saw some people Googling it on stage, or that was the amazing part. I was like, darn, is this where it comes? Because that's what I needed.
So, Robert, let me ask you this. Because do you think we're now in a position, because you ran for an at-large seat?
Good question.
I do not want to see in 15 months all these white people try to run for that seat again. We got to move. She is going to sit in that seat and run again. We cannot go. I'm not going to waste my time in these samples over that seat.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
You got to run at large. It is by time now that we and that white Democrats will have to support us in these at-large seats.
They don't have to do anything.
Oh, they're gonna have to.
I think that's very important, because I could have run for a single member district, but I chose to run at large. Because
Yes.
hell, I thought I was like, in my mind, oh, I know more people within the city than out. I ended up
Right.
getting 10,000 votes. It can be done.
Yes.
But we just have to have the courage to do so. Everybody fighting over one seat is just crazy to me.
It is time out for that.
It's crazy.
Yes.
But it's by design, you guys. You guys understand that one seat and those lines are drawn just so that we get that one seat, and we can't have influence in the other four, which
It
makes
was a protection. It was a protection mechanism so that the Black community did have a voice. But as time has progressed, but as time has progressed, we were never, and we started moving out to different areas. Now we have a different opportunity. And let me just say this: if we're thinking, and as it has been seen, not every Black person is going to vote for you. You can be in a race and think that you're going to. So you are, if you're running, and even in East Tampa now, District 5, there's a multitude of different people living in East Tampa, in District 5. So you have to have the wherewithal to understand, how do you bridge instead of separate?
Right.
Because everybody's complaining about the same thing.
Sure.
Everybody wants the same thing. So what happens in District 5, good happens in District 5, happens for everybody. When I call it the nucleus of East Tampa. East Tampa is the nucleus, it's the center.
Yes.
Of what?
Of District 5.
Okay.
Yes.
Right? So when, without it being gentrification, because Naya spoke about, hey, you know what? We don't need conglomerate apartments. How can we put duplexes on single lots to help with affordable housing and triplexes and so forth, right? Being creative in this moment, because right now what we'll need is creativity.
So
that's good that she said.
You don't think how do we get there? Because we can't say we didn't have creativity when Orlando. It's probably when I really start focusing on city council, because he did lay the groundwork for Fair Oaks. And we have to understand how this works. Even if Naya she wants to do the duplex, start laying this down, it might not come under her term, but it is already laid down. And whoever sits in these seats, well, when I look at Thomas Scott, he originally helped apparently create the CRA.
He got it pushed through. So he got the vote. He did the important part, and he got it passed.
All right. So
which is a point he's trying to make, that Naya will likely spearhead something that she doesn't get to see follow through on. Somebody else will take it on, but she's got to be able to do that. She's got to do that.
Where I think we like in East Tampa, let's say he did get it ahead, and the next person come in should have made sure that got accomplished
100%,
and continue to get it accomplished,
100%.
And whatever else that the community might need at that point. Because when you look at what the mayor do, Jane Kester did not lay the groundwork for front Riverwalk and all of that. It could have been done, I remember, under Bob Buckhorn.
She picked it up.
But even one before him had probably started, Pam Iora, and they continue that work. And they continue to work for the betterment of the city. We have to do that as well.
100%.
Are you saying that we didn't do that with the CRA?
No, we don't do that with anything.
Okay.
We tend to come in. I don't know what we tend to do, because I'm really just starting to follow it. But we tend to say what we want to do. Make sure that you are pushing, because it ain't about you. It is about the community. So you make sure that like when Gwen came in, she had to finish what Orlando started. And the community was going to make that happen anyway. Fair Oaks.
Right, but what did she pick up?
It finished it didn't even finish under her watch. It got started under her watch. And it will be finished under Naya's. But she too, at this point, can start laying the groundwork for whatever she want to see in the future.
So like,
Talk about the future. Go ahead. You
so
can.
like, when Diane asked me to run for her seat, right?
Oh,
And
so
when
you're announcing it now? Oh, look at there. She's announcing.
She didn't announce it. She said Diana asked. She said Diana asked her to run. She didn't say.
Because I haven't really said anything because you haven't said anything.
Right,
oh,
but she didn't
I've
say.
accepted. I've accepted her off. Yeah.
All right, so tell us what you're running for.
Wait.
All right, you set it up.
So when Diane asked me, okay, thank you. So when Diane asked me to run for her seat, and this was over a year ago, and when
So she asked you,
she asked me,
and
yeah,
that's what our leaders need to do, because now that means she has been mentoring you, giving you, showing you what needs to be done, giving you advice.
correct. She's so, and we walk lock and barrel, whatever. We walk. I mean, we're very similar.
Lockstep.
Okay, thank you. We're very similar in regards to what we do. There's a, we mimic one another, and without even doing it.
Okay.
So when I told her I would, then I also asked her a question. What would you want me to continue?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And we talked about that, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
A new person gets in, and then all the work that someone else and we get mad and leave things instead of, because then it's not about us. It should be about the community.
It's got to be about the community.
Hey, you were working on this. It won't be a problem for me to continue.
Right.
It won't be a problem for me to still champion.
All right. So now that the
it
election
can't die out when she exit out. It just can't.
Correct.
Right.
And that's what's been happening in our community.
Correct.
All right. Wow, y'all, I said all right, and now you want to stop?
I'm gonna get you a gavel. You can hit
Oh
the
my God. Get excited. Okay, so now that the election is over, you guys, what do you think needs to happen so that she maintains the coalition, but she builds on it, so that even before the 15 months is over, she has galvanized the community, and we spend the time growing that so that it's a visible support? Now, I don't want to compare this to DJT, Donald Trump, but MAGA is a visible support that he knows if he says turn this way, all the Republicans turn that way, because that base is that important to them. She needs that kind of a base even while she's sitting on the dais, because she needs to be able to make a statement, decide what a policy is, and know that she can get 3 other votes that will align with her, because they know she controls this group of people that will vote with her. She needs that coalition with her, not only when she's running, but while she is meeting from one week to the next. And when you guys go in there to sit, she knows that you're representing that coalition that needs to be built to give her the strength that she needs.
So that's what co-governance is.
Going forward, huh?
So co-governance, right? We talk about that
Talk about it, yeah. Okay.
With Florida Rising.
Talk about it here.
So co-governance is just that. We work with the elected. Naya completed a questionnaire. She agreed with our platform when we go have a conversation with her. And and we work through policy, getting policy passed. And if she says, hey, Robin, I'm looking to get this passed, what do you think? Or I'm looking to get this done, I need people there. Then that's where the community would be round up to sit there and support, or to make phone calls to the other council members. I don't think that's ever been done, right? To that magnitude. And this could be the beginning of it.
Right. So the co-governance actually needs to be with and I'm just going to talk about, I'm not talking about all of District 5, the African-American community needs to figure out how to change our culture around voting so that we are seen as supporting whoever we put into that seat. And I'm going to say we put her into that seat.
I think it's, I think because if you guys if you remember me recruiting people, it was Black, it was white, it was Hispanic, but people had the same mission and goal, right? So it was a combination of lovely if all Blacks come, but if it's for District 5, I think that is for District 5, and that's a multitude of everybody. Whoever comes and shows that support, I think it's a multitude of everybody.
So I often say this.
Multiple within District 5 or just everybody? Because I'm not.
And others can support, because you do have supporters outside of District 5, but District 5 is District 5.
Right. So I support, and I'm outside of District 5. I support because I do a lot of work, as you know, in the schools. But isn't it just as important that we support what she says? Because I have a different city council member.
So I think
does that mean though that she can also influence my vote even in that area? Because Black people are everywhere, and if there's a coalition behind her, similar to what we're seeing at the federal level, if there's a coalition that sticks together no matter what, she may make some mistakes, but we don't abandon her. We stay there and we support her, and everybody knows that. I'm not in her district, but I'm listening to what she says. I want to give her that power.
So I think that you're not in her district, like you said, you work in her district. People, a lot of people go to church in that district. They have family in that district. So you care about District 5. Just about every Black person originated from District 5. If you've been here generation after generation, you came from District 5 and then moved out. It really doesn't matter when we say all roles. For most Democrats, particularly Blacks, we want the same thing. That's why we got to stop fighting with each other. We might not get there the same way. I could get to East Tampa for where I live 3 different ways. I could take 275, 75, or go straight down Bruce B. Downs, but the location is East Tampa.
So let me say something also.
But what's to say that she somehow, because Blacks are coalescing with an agenda, and she is one of several. I mean, this could be with the school board, this could be with the county commission, but let's just talk about Naya at this point, that she has control of, by virtue of her performance, control of the voting of every Black person who is going to listen. Are we moving those districts forward? Because you're right, I have an interest in what happens in District 5. Are we moving the agenda forward or not? And if we're not, who on that council is blocking that? And then if the person that I'm in the district of, if they are blocking that, then she has influence over the votes that he or she may have, because we've given her that power. I think we need to figure out how to give our Black elected figures the power that they have not had in the past.
Let me just say this. So if Naya is pushing something and she needs support, so let's say out of the 7 council members, and this is power, right? Out of 7 council members, let's say, and I'll just use Luis Vieira. Luis Vieira is the one that's stubborn. She can't move him.
Right.
So the plan would be is she can't move him, but guess what? We know organizations, we know people that's in his district, because what he has to see out there are people that will vote for him.
Right. That's
doesn't make any difference to show the people that's going to be there for Naya, because Naya don't need her people there. She need other members there.
Exactly what I'm saying.
That's how that has to work. But that would take work in regards to galvanizing them to show up or make phone calls to move Lewis. Right. When they look out there, all they're looking out is votes.
Yeah. And she's in that position simply because everybody is up for re-election.
She's in good position for that.
Everybody wants to run again, so they're not going to screw her over per se.
Right.
you know.
Because we need to make her the Malcolm X, going to the hospital to make sure that the fellow brother
I
is
love
okay.
that scene. Yes, I
Right.
know which one you're
You
talking
know what
about.
I'm talking about, Robin?
Malcolm X what?
Or
Malcolm
even
X
when he was in the
hospital.
jail and he told him to go look outside, and they
Oh,
left the jail.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That's the kind of power we need to give our elected officials here locally.
yeah.
So
That
we can't demean them. We can't talk shit about them. We can't, if we have something to say, then that's to us or to them personally. But
I
all
agree.
the
I agree.
disgrace and disrespect and stuff that goes on, again,
We got to stop
make
that.
it real. We have to. We have to.
Absolutely,
Let
absolutely.
me just say this also.
We agree with you. We agree with you. Go ahead.
One of the most disappointing things that I saw during this election was Black women and this young Black girl. Just the things that were said and how it was handled, I totally disagree with it. And there's a way to handle it. It takes a lot for somebody to run.
Sure.
It does.
Lapdog, all these things that are, and it takes a lot for somebody to run. So and if people feel that way, if you want to get the feeling and you don't like the people that are running, then you run.
Right. So, but I think we need to figure out not so much her. We need to figure out how to change the culture.
100%.
One that we are more supportive than not. Yes, a lot of that went on. Yes, a lot of that tends to go on, not just in this election, but any election. But if we as Black people change our approach
100%.
around our candidates, then that doesn't become a major issue. You can't get rid of all of it. But if you have a critical mass that can do the Malcolm X at the hospital scene, I'm going to keep saying that because people need to understand that crowd of people were cheering, and maybe they agreed or disagreed, but they knew they had to support whatever that mission or that vision was on that day at that moment. And I think we have to figure out how to change that culture. And I appreciate your bringing that up, but you are absolutely right. We have to figure out how do we, as a group, make the shift, especially now.
Let me take you back to the day. Mona, just one thing quickly.
Okay.
You remember back in the day when
back in the day, she says.
Back in the day, C. Blythe Andrews. We were, I think, 25 feet back then. You could stand 25 feet from the door. And Jackie Hearns was going to be cooking fish.
I remember.
People yelling. It was. We had a party.
Yes.
At the voting sites.
I remember. And
if one person was yelling and another person went to yell, that other person waited till that first person stopped yelling because they wanted to get that. It was that type of fun.
It was a little bit of respect. And look, now we could all say now we do know it was somebody who never gave true respect, and they got a pass. But what we have to be matured about is being able to say, I support candidate A, doesn't mean I'm against candidate B.
100%.
I just support candidate A for whatever reason. And what I do like about Tea and Conversation, there we have a group of about, I think it's 11, 12, 14 of us. And when these things come in, we're sometimes all split. We never fall out about who pick who to get behind. And for whatever reason, you get behind that person. Generally, we try to be on one accord.
Yeah.
When Tea and Conversation support someone, so it'd be a group effort. We vote for it. So it doesn't be candy. That's not any one person do it. The team and the community vote for it. But as an individual, like I'm a member of Florida Rising, and I was like, dang, I didn't really know how this stuff was going, right? Because generally I go with the majority. But I had a personal knowledge of Allison, and I did know of her, so I did go with her.
And
But
she dragged me with her because I wasn't Allison at first.
yes,
But to the
I thought she
point,
was the best
three of
candidate.
us, the
And-
three of us did not land in the same place. We typically do. And I remember that
But I
conversation.
want to say that it has to be okay. It has to be okay because
But I
we're individuals and free thinkers. It has to be okay that we could go to
Robin,
different ways. Okay.
yes,
We
And then
talked it out.
absolutely.
We talked it out.
And
Robin,
then meet back up in because at the end of the day, we want what's best for East Tampa.
Correct.
that
like
is
I
true.
said-
Let me interject because I got to give you an example, and you keep going, and I appreciate that, but I have to get this in. So Robin calls me and she asks, "Well, who are you going to vote for?" and blah blah blah. And it's like, "Hey, I'm going with Allison." All right. After that, we got into the runoff. She calls me again. And I say, I don't know. And Robin, I could hear it on the other side of the phone. She was actually saying WTF, but she didn't quite say it. And I said to myself, I got to be brave. I got to be brave. Tell her the truth. Tell her the truth. And I said, I don't know right now.
She's such a chicken shit.
Oh,
no,
wait,
she's such a chicken shit.
Be quiet. So I said, I don't know right now, but call me later at some other point, and I'll have thought it through and blah blah blah. And sure enough, maybe a few weeks later.
No, you said you were gonna. You said once I make a decision, you'll be the first person I call.
All right.
I never got the call.
Right.
I was
And
gonna
then
say, did she call you? Did she?
No, she called me.
because I was still trying to debate, right? And then it was like, oh man, I got to call Robin. But then Robin calls me, and I'm like, I'm laying on the couch. No, the first time I was laying on the couch, I might have been the second time as well. And it was like, oh man, now I got to tell her. Because she knows that I'm a member of Florida Rising. I'm a member of the committee that selects who we're going to support. And I was a part of that discussion. And yeah,
she's on the board.
Right. And I'm on the board. And now I got to go against what they are doing. And then every weekend I got the call from Calliope. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. And it was like, I can't do that because I'm not supporting. But that was what, Robin, what did you say to me after I told you I had made up my mind?
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember stuff.
So Robin was her usual disgusted, but by the time we finished that call, we were good. We were still good. And so she just figured she had to move on because you know how Robin is. She just gonna move on and do what she's got to do.
And now she should.
And now I called her this morning because the election was last night. I remember, y'all. I called her this morning to just, congratulate and tell her what a great job that she was doing. Because for me, it is important that these things do not ruin relationships and
Absolutely.
Friendships.
Absolutely.
And that there has to be that opening where we can speak honestly with each other, move differently, because the end goal is that we are all on the same page. And ever since you did the Black Agenda, but even before that, when you were doing the Black Caucus, I have always wanted to support what it is that you are doing because you are a worker in the community. If I don't agree, I feel comfortable enough to say,
Sure.
I'm going in a different direction.
Right.
But friendships, people, and I want to say this to the viewers, friendships should not be lost as a result of differences of opinion. And I appreciate you and you, Mona, because sometimes it's kind of like, Mona, what are you talking about?
Well,
and we're able to have the differences of opinion. Okay, sorry to interrupt. I had to say it.
No, I'm gonna tell you my story too, and I'll tell you how to connect. So after the election, the night of the primaries, so my friend Kamisha was not with me that night, but when we was there and the results came in, we were all sitting around, and I said, "Oh well, look like I'm going to support Thomas Scott." And everybody at the table was like, "What?" I said, yeah, my stance hasn't changed. I want somebody, close your
Yeah.
ears, Robin, day one ready. Okay, that was my thing. And so I think, I don't know if it was the same night or the next night, I was talking to my girlfriend, Kamitra, and I told her which way I was going to be going. And she was like, Mona, you got to be effing kidding me. I thought we won't change. I said, I know, I do want change, but I am still the same. I want someone day one ready. Maybe change could come in 15 months. And she said, and she was getting really upset. And I had to say, hey, you support Naya because that's where she wanted to go. You support. And I really didn't force anybody or even ask like I did before when I was running my camp, my girl, I was sending out the stuff. And when people was asking me, I simply said, hey, I'm supporting Tom Scott. Here's why. It's up to you now to pick whoever you want because we could do with both. Either one. I'm good with either one. But
and that's all.
And I'm going to support him because of what I said from day one. Now, as like Robin, when I can remember when I joined Florida Rising, I didn't really even know what Florida Rising was, but she said, hey, I need some people and I just want you to join. And that's all I wanted to do was join.
Support Robin.
Right. I was just going to join. I was just going to be a paid member. Then she just kept sending me this stuff, Come do this, come. And I was like, what the? I don't have time for this. And this what been a couple of years now.
Yeah.
And I've been quite involved. And I swear I do like it because
you went to that conference and you came back a changed woman. I know.
Yeah. I liked it. I'm going to be working with I can't remember her name, but right after this election, I told her, let us get through this election because we have a huge election coming up. So justice in every courtroom.
Yeah.
That is what I'm going to really be focusing on. And I think it's really good to help advise our community moving us forward. We have to make a change. It's going to take time. We have to realize that Project 2025, I can remember Jeanette and I going over Project 2025 and really doing the research and how long it took those people to get to Project. But it was consistent. And sometimes that's the way we fail.
Yeah.
And I know people get tired of fighting. I don't know. I give you guys all the honor and the praise because I don't know how you continue to do it. Connie Burton all these years. You, Yvette Lewis, all you fighters. Because I get tired and say, I want to throw up my hands like Jesus Christ.
But it's for me, it's more than just fighting because it's around policy change for me. Mm-hmm. So, and I've seen policy changes that I've requested. I've had money put in the budget like I requested. So it's the lobbying, the effort is working. It's working. So, but you have to be, you said the key word, you have to be consistent. Mm-hmm. You have to be consistent because a lot of times, and to be honest, it took one, because I was like everybody else. A lot of people, not everybody else. A lot of people. I would say what I had to say in those 3 minutes, and then I would leave. But just this one particular time, I stayed, and I've been staying ever since. And just as a notion, my schedule is not until 11 o'clock with my job. So I go before work to go to council, before I go to work, because I don't start working till 11. Yeah. So, but again, I find interest in it. It didn't make sense to me, and that's what kept me coming, because it didn't make sense. And then I recognize, each time I would learn something different. And let me just say this also. More people are online than what we think. Mm-hmm. More people are online than what we think, because I run into so many people saying, they were watching online and so forth. And I think that's great. That's part of it. Yes. That's part of it.
Yeah, because I noticed you have a seat on that front row with your name on it, Robin.
And get an attitude when they be trying to sit in it. Yeah.
I'm working, and so I try to get my customers all involved. So we're always having it on city council, because I'm trying to get these people who
Because she
engage.
texts me. She'll text me in the middle of it.
Yeah, I be texting Robin. Yes, yes, and asking questions, and now they're asking questions, and I'm like, look, we have to care about who is making decisions about your life, and if you
Yeah.
don't care anymore, we have to care about who's going to be making decisions for our children and their children. Now we got to move different.
So
I
you
love
know okay, so that is so true. And in this date and age, right now, and I'm spiritual, right? God is in the midst of all of this. He really is.
I believe it.
And why he is so great is that he is allowing us to see who is who.
Ooh,
This is a revealing journey for us. But we have to be patient enough to pay attention to who's being unveiled.
I love that.
It's going to be people, it's businesses, it's organizations, it's everything, because the tide is going to change again. But when the tide changes, we have to be ready. So as we continue to move forward, those people, organizations, businesses that have been unveiled, we'll know who they are, and they'll be left behind. They can't commingle with us.
So I was going to ask, I was going to ask you if you had any closing remarks that you wanted to share. And man, if that wasn't a powerful closing for you,
we have to be
and
ready.
if there's anything else, go ahead and share that. But I think you are definitely right about it's a generational change that's about to occur, and Black folks need to be ready. And I love it. So anything you want to say to the viewing audience right now after this race that you participated in, what would you say to us as we go through this next 15 months?
We have to keep building. We have to be patient, and we have to, most of all, keep learning. It's going to be 15 months. And to be honest, the budget has been approved. That's the biggest thing. Zoning is going to come up. The rezoning plan is coming up. But we just have to be patient. And to be honest, we have to really work on ourselves, because the engagement has to be from us. Naya is going to be in that seat. But we have to work on ourselves in regards to what engagement, how the community is going to engage. That is going to be pivotal, because it's bigger than Naya, right?
Oh, wow.
The mayor is coming. A new mayor is coming. And again, we're more powerful when we're together than we're apart. And that itself has to be consistent.
I wish that we all come
on
together at one day as a community, and I'm talking about the African American community, and we all agree, or if we could 60, 70, 80% agree on who we want to get behind for these candidates, for the mayor particularly. If we could just,
I can tell you now, that's going to be a total headache, because I know.
Because for me, it doesn't make a difference, really. I want to get behind whoever the community, the community, but it's always going to be who get to decide.
Well,
but if we all come behind, and we won't have all this infighting, if we just get together and say, we're going to get behind candidate A, and we tell candidate A, this is what we want. We got 80-90% of the vote will come your way, but this is what we expect. And we do.
So a great port. Well, I can't say a great, but a portion of the community has already made up their mind in regards to who they're going to support, and I doubt if that's going to change.
So the way that you do that is you go ahead and you let folks run through the primary, and you let them compete and do whatever else, and then you at that point you say to everybody, "This is the candidate we're going to focus on." You let them go ahead and compete. And then you decide, just like she won this election, the decision is she will be the person that we are supporting over the next 15 months. Whatever she needs, we will make that happen. If she needs that visible support, if she needs on one day for maybe 200 of us to try to cram into the, and I know we can't, but we can stand outside. I'm back to the Malcolm X example. If she needs us to stand outside so she can point and it becomes new on the news, we need to be able to do that. That's it. So anyway, Robin, thank you so much. This has been a great conversation, and I'm glad we're friends again.
Oh, listen.
Oh my God, was you guys not frizzy? I never take it.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm making the point to people that seem to have lost their minds during this whole election. You don't have to, you just have to be smart. Like you say, mature voters and understand how the process goes. And that even though you disagree, you don't have to break up your relationships.
Yeah, I'm not falling out with anybody over a freaking election.
But people do.
I know. It gets really, I know. Robin, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It was so much going on this year. We didn't do our girls' dinner, so we got to get that together. Now Thanksgiving's coming up, but we didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't do any birthdays or anything.
No, we normally do.
So
we were supposed to do your graduation.
Yeah,
we didn't do nothing. So we're going to have to.
Everybody was diving into the election. So,
all right.
But can I say one other thing?
Yes.
You know, most of all in this, and I think everybody feels the same way. We want to see the city win. We want to see the community win.
Yeah.
But we just have to figure out how. And with District 5, how do we do that? Right? Because it's not us against them and them against us. We have to bring them in and us out. So how do we bring this together?
Good question. It's a good question, but I want to add to that by saying Naya's opponent, Tom Scott, is not the villain here.
Oh, no.
And I just need for the community to understand he's an important part of that coalition that needs to be built. And he has the experience, and I'm going to go with that can add to, not detract from. But we have to be smart enough to know how to use the talent and experience and the brain power of the group as a whole, and stop pushing people out unnecessarily, which weakens us. So again, thank you so much for such short notice and jumping on here. Get some rest. And
I'm gonna take her down in a minute. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to some and present to others, and I think everybody know, candidate running for state representative. Which district? I forget, because I know it changed.
You heard it
here, candidate, and it's District 63.
63. I was, yeah.
All right. And you can catch her. Well, yeah, you can catch her on Saturday mornings with Diane Hart, going through the issues that everybody needs to know about.
Yeah.
And what time is that?
8 a.m.
on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Here's another thing too. I was thinking, because Clinton Robinson, and I think everybody who wants to run should run.
Yeah.
We can't tell people they can't run.
Correct.
I think everybody who wants to run should run. And I supported him when he ran. I don't know if it was the last time. I probably supported him every time. I'm sure they did. But we got to start helping each other out, because it takes nothing for us to fill out those forms to get the petition. And are you going to try to get petitions?
I probably will, because last time I was in it less than 90 days, but I'll announce.
And that's how we're going to have to work together to do that as a group. That's less stressful for the candidate. Yeah. And we're going to have to get petitions filled for every candidate and I tell the people who I'm doing it, look, I'm not asking you to support them. I'm asking you to help them get on the ballot. And then you decide who you want to support.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
We're going to do better. We're going to love each other. We're going to love our community. And
We like to keep talking, even though we're trying to close. We like to just keep right on talking.
good night, now. Bye, Robin. Good night.
Look at it. You took her off. She was in the middle of something.
Hey,
But
I
anyway,
wrote up a good little closing thing too. But yeah, look, I don't think that some people are, I don't want people telling other people how to behave. Maybe the way you campaign might not align with me,
mm-hmm.
or I might not do it,
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to say to you, you have to do it my way.
Yeah, there's I think that the community needs to really talk about that in terms of what a campaign needs and who's doing what. And even Florida Rising, Ms. Patterson, when we go out to the conference and when we were in Miami, she wasn't going to go out and knock on doors. Janelle and I did that. She did the phone banking. And that was the first time she's done phone banking and actually loved it and liked it. So there's an opportunity in campaigns to do what you are most comfortable with, but by all means, figure out what that is. And if it's writing emails or phone banking or knocking on doors or whatever it is, there is something to do for everyone. The key to me, though, is find it and do that. Because the more of us that engage, the more of us that lend support, even if it's just signing a petition or writing a check, even just signing that petition is all I'm saying. I think Naya is going to need some visible evidence of she's got a whole lot of support in Tampa, and that support equates to votes. In areas like where you live, all Luis Vieira has to do is say the area he's from, which has a lot of tax dollars attached to it. And sometimes that's what speaks for them. She's going to need, because tax dollars aren't necessarily in Sulphur Springs and whatever else, that it doesn't scare folks enough. She's going to need a way to tie in votes, that 45,000 votes. She has to take that now 5414. Okay, Robin, I did say it, 5,414, and turn it into 10,000. We have to do that. Sure. And it has to be maybe on a petition that she has in her little knapsack or her backpack that says, I didn't mean backpack, and maybe I meant briefcase. I don't want to diminish anything, but people have to know that she has been able to turn 5,414 into 10,414, and so on and so forth. She doesn't have to do the whole 44,000. They have to see the power that she has and the growth in voters who are ready to vote. And it doesn't need to just be in District 5. She can influence in other districts as well. But, absolutely. So I think this one caught a lot of people off guard.
Yeah, I tell you, to be honest, this one caught a lot of people off guard.
Except those who are actually doing the work.
Those who believe of her from day one, but Naya Young wasn't the projected winner going into the runoff. And for many, this result came as a real surprise.
Yeah, I think it really did. But it reminds us that in politics, anything can happen. And that when people actually show up at 5,000, 414. So what we saw in this race was a reminder that participation, especially from the younger voters and the older voters who are looking for change and new things. So newer voices can shift the direction of an entire district. And we saw that this yesterday.
Well, look, I think maybe that's exactly what District 5 needed. And I have been saying that anyway. It is time for us to move to the side, not out the way, because she would need guidance and all of that. But let the younger people decide the type of Tampa and future they want.
I agree with that.
We got more years behind us than ahead of us, and they should be shaping a fresh, respected, a younger generation saying, we want it. They want to be heard. You know,
Younger generation wants to be heard. We need to be open to passing that baton. So that means as voters come, for whatever your motivation is, our group, the baby boomers, we need to be ready to pass that baton.
Sure.
And we need to be able to listen to our fellow generation, generational folks that they too want change. And sometimes you kind of assume that they don't, and it's the young people who don't vote in the numbers that the older people. But as Robin said, older people are asking for change as well, and I think we need to ready this district for that next generation. So, folks, they both ran strong campaigns. Thomas Scott brought the experience and the leadership, as we mentioned, and that's what Damoni and I were looking for, and others like us. But Naya Young brought the passion and the connection. But now the voters have spoken, and we need to be able to listen to that.
Absolutely. So she is our next city councilwoman, and whether she was your choice or not, it is time for us as a community to get behind her, support her, and hold her accountable in love and in truth.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Mona, District 5 can only move up. They can only move forward.
Yes.
And if we move, we need to move forward together. Young, old, new, seasoned voices, doesn't matter. All of us are fighting for the same thing, a better and stronger Black community.
Absolutely. All right. So I want to congratulations. So congratulations to Councilwoman Naya Young.
You said that, but actually she's councilwoman elect until Friday.
Oh, are they doing it Friday? So she's
Yeah,
not.
I heard it was going to be on Friday.
Ah, hell, they should have done it today so she could be ready to sit in that seat on Thursday. But okay.
Maybe, but yeah.
Councilwoman Naya Young on a hard-fought victory. We wish her the very best, and we'll be watching, supporting, and pushing for progress every step of the way. Congratulations from Black Independent.
That absolutely. And if you like tonight's discussion, folks, like and share this video. Please do that. You can follow us on Facebook and subscribe to We Are Black Independents. Your support keeps this movement going. We're also on YouTube. And that's really where we want you to subscribe to us so that we can grow our membership to 500. We're going to need about 500 of you. So it's slow going, but that's the goal. So that's all I have.
I'm kind of still and amazed and a little bit impressed. This is our 26th episode. So, we're moving.
27.
Oh, 27. Okay.
We are 27 episodes old
27
now.
episode, and I think we have about 200, a little over 210. And so really by next month, guys, help us. And you can help us by just subscribing to us on
YouTube.
Just subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also buy some of our perch for stocking stuffers for your parents or your children's teachers, t-shirts. How do they purchase those, Jeanette?
They can go on Facebook in the it's pinned at the it is pinned at the top of the Facebook page. You can go in and order a t-shirt or a mug. All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
That's it. Good night, everyone. I was trying to bring Robin back up.
All right, so we're gonna I do this all the time because I haven't figured this out, but